Good morning, my beautiful souls. My name is Nicole, and I am here to help you reconnect with your light. Today, I would like to talk about how to process your emotions and the importance of processing your emotions. We live in a society where being emotional is somehow shunned, where showing our emotions too publicly makes us weird or overly emotional, and somehow that seems to be a bad thing, but I think that there is so much power in actually feeling our emotions. At the end of the day, like I've said in several of my previous videos, feeling our emotions is what defines us. The emotions that we feel more strongly than anything else is what is going to lead us to our future. In the sense that if we are constantly feeling sad and low, then we won't be making the best decisions for ourselves because we are being triggered by past emotions that made us feel down and low and sad, and that stops us from feeling the emotions that we should be feeling and pushes us to make decisions that are probably not the best for us. Whereas on the other hand, when you're feeling good and vibrant and happy, then you make decisions that are better off for yourself because you're willing to take more risks as your heart is more open and you're generally feeling better about yourself. But now it seems that society has pushed us to believe that only feeling the more positive emotions is worthwhile, whereas feeling negative emotions just tends to make everybody depressed, and so we shouldn't really feel them around other people. Think about it even as children. When children cry or when children shout, at the end of the day, this is the way that they're expressing whatever it is that they're feeling. But we tell them, oh, be quiet, or oh, don't cry, or things like that. And that basically sends a message that tells us or pushes us to believe that feeling our emotions is not a good thing and is not acceptable. And at the end of the day, emotions are simply energy, just like everything else that makes up this world. And if we don't feel the emotions that are coming through, then they stay blocked in our body, and this causes problems. And when they stay blocked in the body, this also leads to other issues, because at the end of the day, any stiffness that we're feeling in our body is simply emotions that we haven't processed. And in some situations, this can lead into even bigger problems. And in some situations, people have even talked about how trapped emotions can lead to much bigger illnesses, such as things like cancer. I will put a description in the link below to Dr. Joe Dispenza, who talks about how when we stay trapped in our past and when we are too focused on what is happening in our past and things that we experienced in our past, and when we try to make decisions for the future or for the present, but because these emotions from the past are still trapped within us and we didn't process them at that time, then this stops us from processing our emotions in a more neutral fashion. And so not processing our emotions is what leads to us making poor decisions, in that we are still being triggered by experiences, by negative experiences that we had in the past that have stopped us from believing that the present moment or the future can be different, because that previous experience that led to a negative emotion that wasn't processed at that time leads you to believe that moving forward something that is unknown will be negative, because your brain doesn't know quite how to compute it. So to break it down to you, emotions are feelings, as you know, and feelings are what dictate at which frequency we as a being will vibrate. And at the end of the day, there are only two major vibrations. There is that of love and there is that of fear. And all of these emotions that we feel on a day-to-day basis fall into one of those two categories. But what we want to do is we want to vibrate from a place of love. We want to vibrate from a place of happiness, joy, abundance, all the positive emotions that you allow yourself to feel. Because once you do feel those emotions, then you tend to pick up on similar vibrating experiences. So if I'm generally a happy person, then I will see the happiness around me, whereas if I'm constantly feeling low and down, then I will tend to be focused more on the negative things that are going on around me. And so when you take the time to simply allow yourself to really feel what is going on, at the end of the day, all of our emotions, we can feel them in our body. Think about it this way. When you feel fear, either you feel a sort of pang to your heart, or like your stomach is dropping, like when you're sitting on a plane and you hit a pocket of air. So when you take the time to really feel your body and to feel the emotions that you're feeling within your body, you'll start to realize what's going on. You'll start to realize the emotions that you're feeling. And so what I ask you to do is, the next time, just take some time to really feel whatever that emotion is feeling. So, for example, when I'm feeling extreme happiness, I feel my heart opening, I can feel myself becoming lighter. Whereas when I feel scared or I feel fear, I tend to feel it in my stomach. But now when you really focus on the sensation within your body where that emotion hits, and rather than trying to question yourself, oh, why am I feeling this way, or where has this emotion come from, literally just feel that emotion, feel it. And the thing is, as it's an energy cycle, what happens is, once you start to pay attention to the feeling of that emotion, eventually that feeling begins to dissipate. So it takes a little bit of practice, but what you can do is, whenever you're feeling some kind of emotion, and I know it will be a little bit strange if you're in the middle of a conversation with a person and you suddenly close your eyes and start feeling whatever it is that they're saying, but you can try and do this exercise when you're on your own. For example, if somebody says something to you and you feel something within your body physically, that means that somewhere deep within your soul, within your body, and you might not necessarily be consciously aware of it, but somewhere deep within yourself, you believe whatever that person is saying to be true. And that means that that is a limiting belief that you hold within your body because of several times in the past where you did not process that emotion. And so the more you practice this and the more you allow yourself to process whatever emotions come up, the more you will be able to control your emotions, so to speak, and not let them control you. So take the time to just sit, and you can do a sort of short meditation and just ask yourself questions. How do I feel if I'm standing on a stage and everybody is staring at me? Ask yourself that question and feel whatever triggers within your body, whatever feelings within your body you start to feel. And that will give you an indication that somewhere deep within you, you have some kind of feeling about that. If it's a negative feeling, then take a moment to sit with that. And you can even go a step further and to ask yourself, why is it that you're feeling that way? And the more you question things like this, the more you start to understand that these limiting beliefs that you have are simply holding you back, and they are beliefs that you had from previous experiences in your past that you didn't process at the time, whereas things in the future can be a little bit different. So the importance is to really allow yourself to sit with whatever feelings come up, whatever sensory feelings that you feel in your body, whatever physical sensations you're feeling in your body whenever somebody says something, or even when you think about something. And another good way of you to do this, to help yourself with this practice, is you can go back to negative experiences you may have had and try and replay that experience in your mind and sit with the feeling of how that experience made you feel, and really just focus on the feeling within your body. So if you're feeling it in your chest, feel it in your chest. If you're feeling it in your throat, allow yourself to feel it in your throat. Just focus on that feeling, and don't necessarily try and put any attachments to it or try and ask yourself anything. You can come back to that later, and even using a journal can help you with this process, but I will go into that at a later stage. So the thing is to really just sit with the feeling, allow yourself to process that feeling, allow yourself to really feel the emotion. And the more that you do this, the more practice you do, and every single time something comes up, sit, feel and allow it to pass. Don't question, don't put judgment on it, don't start criticizing yourself and say, oh, why am I feeling this way? Just allow it to be. And the more you do this, the more you will be able to learn how to process your feelings instantaneously. This is a process that I started doing about 2 years ago, and when I first started it, I couldn't quite understand how it worked, and it took me a lot of time, and I would have to sit there and close my eyes and really focus on that feeling. But now whenever that happens, because I've done this for such a long time, the process happens instantaneously. And what you're doing by doing this is that you're not allowing that emotion to block, because at the end of the day, the only reason that you will feel a physical sensation in your body from an emotion is because you are simply triggering something that was there from a previous time. So just take things easy. Don't criticize yourself. It's important to love yourself throughout this process and allow this process to take as long as it needs. This is something that will be different for every single one of you out there. But the more that you allow yourself to feel whatever emotions that you feel and not necessarily question them and judge them and criticize yourself for feeling them, just let it be. It is what it is. And the more you process these emotions moving forward, the more you will start to clear the stagnant energy that was left there from previous negative experiences. So, simply feel the emotions of whatever is coming up for you. Allow yourself to sit with them. Practice 2-minute meditations. Maybe give yourself the task of every day pick a negative emotion that you know that you battle with. This could be anxiety, this could be sadness, this could be loneliness, this could be the feeling of not belonging, of not being good enough. Just every single day, pick an emotion that you feel and sit with that emotion for a few minutes. And if you like, take the minute to pull out a journal and just simply write down whatever you're feeling, because when you write it down, it sort of helps to release that energy into the world. So my beautiful souls, I hope that this video has been helpful to you in some way or another, and I truly hope that this will help you to process those energies, those negative emotions that are holding you back, that are no longer who you are at the present moment, but are simply a reflection of past experiences that you didn't allow yourself to deal with. So, thank you so much for your time, for your support, for tuning in, and I truly hope that this video helps you to reconnect with the light that shines so deeply within yourself, but that you have forgotten is there. Beautiful souls, thank you so much, and have a beautiful soul. Thank you.